Hi guys. So I know a lot of you have been asking me to record more videos, and I promise I'll try. I've just got a lot on my plate, and I try and make videos where I can. But today I just want to address the issue of migration. A very interesting topic indeed when people say, oh, South Africans are so illiterate. They don't understand that migration is normal. Migration is happening everywhere in the world. You can't stop migration. It's a normal thing. I mean, you can't stop refugees. The refugees are normal. You signed some agreements to have refugees, blah, 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 blah. And the one thing I've realized about people who address this issue of immigrants in the country is that they love running away from the actual issue. Like, they'll use anything except like face the issues and be honest about the issues. They'll tell you about self-hate, about how you hate your African brothers, about how you chase away black people and not white people, and how blah 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 blah. You know the words. Oh, you're not smart enough, you're illiterate, so that's why you're chasing away people. You don't understand migration, you don't travel enough, all of that jazz. And the funny thing is, these people refuse to call what's happening in South Africa what it is. Migration is normal. Migration happens everywhere in the world. What we have in South Africa is not migration. We are being invaded by every single country, and they're building up countries for themselves in our country. We've got places in our country that are becoming known for being places for certain nations, and that is not migration. That is not normal. Secondly, we have people coming into this country every single day, undocumented. They have no plan for their lives. They just walk into the country, and then life must carry on because now they've found South Africa the place of gold and honey. And whoever wants to be a criminal comes here and becomes a thriving criminal. Whoever wants to come here and start a fraudulent business without abiding to the laws or paying the taxes, they do that. Whoever wants to bring their child and have your child removed from school so that their child can have a place does that. And that's not migration. Migration is when I, as Jacinta, want a job, for example, and I want a job in Spain. So I go to Spain, the websites or whatever, and I look for a job. When I find that there is an available job, they're looking for someone, they can't find someone to fill that job, I apply and they take me. Then I start preparing my documentation that will allow me to come to the country. They'll give me a job offer that says, okay, here in Spain, we do have a space for a South African called Jacinta who can come and start a job tomorrow or 3 months from now, doesn't matter. Then I migrate to Spain because Spain has offered me a job, or they have said they have space for a South African to come. Because in Spain, maybe there's someone who doesn't qualify for the job or doesn't want that job, or there's not enough people who are skilled in that job, or whatever the case might be. But here in South Africa, that's not how it works. People wake up in the morning from their countries, wherever they are from, and decide, oh, I don't like this country anymore. I don't like my president. Things are not working out. I want a job. I need a job. My life is not thriving. Let me go to South Africa. And then they call that migration. Then they say, oh, South Africans don't travel. That's why you don't want migration to happen, because you don't travel. It's the same thing that we are talking about that happens when people come here and they say they are refugees. That if you're genuinely a refugee, you need to abide by the laws and the rules that make you a refugee and the behavior of a refugee. Here we've got people who claim to be refugees, but they are opening tuck shops, and when they open those tuck shops, they become the kings. They have security companies that they apparently pay, and these security companies protect them. And by protection, I mean anyone who stands in their way is removed. Anyone who wants to open a business and they're South African is removed. And these apparent refugees all come from the same country or countries. And these apparent refugees, when they get here, start forming groups and organizations, and they become organized. And then they start making their own products that are not even taxed. These little shops of theirs are not even accounted for because they register them under other people. They pay those people to have them. They take this money and they don't contribute to the tax in this country. But we're supposed to keep quiet because, we don't travel. So what do we know about traveling? We don't migrate. We don't know anything about immigration. So some of you say, because what is happening in our country is apparently immigration. We've got people who come from their country here, they start taking over places and they become drug lords and drug dealers. But of course, that is migration. Why are South Africans worked up? It's migration. South Africans are just getting worked up over nothing because, anyone who needs a job can just wake up and just get a job. It's because South Africans are lazy. Not bearing in mind the fact that you left your country. There wasn't a job that was offered to you. You went and found a job that would have been given to a South African if you were not there. It's not because South Africans are lazy. It's because you are taking the opportunities that were not meant for you, that you were not offered and left your country because you got an offer, which is what migration says. You came here, you bulldozed your way, and you started looking for a job that some other South African could have gotten if you were not there. Then you tell us, no, we are working the streets, we're selling. There's nothing wrong with selling because South Africans are jealous of people who are just selling on the streets. So you're telling me that in South Africa, we didn't sell before you came? Like you are the people that came with selling. And now there's 50,000 of you just sitting up on the road because you're poor and you want to cry, and we must feel sad for your poverty because that poverty is apparently our fault. The money that you make is not coming to South Africa. It's not contributing to our economy. It's not helping us. It's not helping us because you'll take it back home to your country. But somehow it's South Africans that are wrong. And then it's South Africans that are not intelligent. It's South Africans that don't travel. You can't go to your country and do that. But here you want to do it because you found greener pastures and South Africans are lazy. Because it's always South Africans. It's always our fault. Then there are South Africans that support that nonsense because you don't even understand the greater and the bigger picture of things. You keep allowing people to come into your country every day. Every day they're walking in numbers. What do you think when you sit and imagine the future is going to look like? What do you think is going to happen in the future? You tell me. When there's an unregulated number of people just walking into the country that we don't know who they are. And they go and they need to find places to live. They need to find schools. They need to find jobs. They need to find ways to survive, some of them, and would do anything for it. And you are saying to me, no, there's nothing wrong. Those are our brothers. We're all black. What does race have to do with immigration? Maybe it's me who doesn't understand. So because someone is black, it means it warrants them to come into a country and do as they please because they're black. If that's the case, guys, why are you as South Africans not taking that opportunity and grabbing it with both hands and going to other countries and doing the same thing? Why will you not go and find opportunities to thrive in any other African country? Because you're black. You're black, right? And you're not working. Some of you are not working. And there's other jobs in other parts of Africa that you can take because you're a South African. You qualified, you've studied, you've learned. So why don't you just go there and walk and say that you're black? Like, does it make sense that you all want to be black in South Africa? Is South Africa the only country that must recognize race, that must say Africa is for African? Are we the only country that must be called a continent, that must accommodate the whole continent? Guys, some of these things we need to wake up and really be practical about it. Don't listen to the Mukwetas of the world or Mukweta or whatever, because he knows what he's protecting. People who are protecting this thing, trust me, they're protecting it for very few reasons. Either they benefit from it, it's personal to them. And by personal, it could be because they themselves are not South African. They are dating someone who's not South African. They have a family member who's not South African. They are keeping people who are not South African. and using them as laborers. You know that Mukweta, I wouldn't be surprised if he's part of those lawyers that are benefiting from illegal immigrants, or he's an illegal immigrant himself, or someone in his family. I would not even be surprised. I would not even be surprised. But our government needs to take us seriously, guys. You need to take, because I'm telling you, why are you letting people study law in South Africa, for example? Because if you're allowing foreigners to come and study law in the country, where are they going to practice? Obviously, they must practice here, you know. And when they start practicing here, what do you think they're going to do to the law or the judiciary of this country? And you start putting them in positions where they are decision makers about the laws of the country. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? That's why we find ourselves in the situation that we're in. We don't have patriotic South Africans. Every time a person comes forward and they're showing to be loving South Africa, you get questioned, you get called names, you get told you are xenophobic, you get called all kinds of things. Because patriotism in this country is labeled as something that it's not. So I'm asking you, don't get tired. Every day, we must never get tired. This is the most consistent we will ever be in this country. And our consistency will reap rewards. People must go back to their countries. Whoever wants to come here must come here legally. Whoever must come here must come for a reason. We can't be having people on Moja Love. I don't know how many times you've seen people on Moja Love, on Kolani's show. Why are you doing drugs? Because I'm not working. Then why don't you go back to your country? Like, why is it okay for someone to say, I'm not working, and they're not South African? Like, why did you come to the country? You didn't come here because you're not working. You came because you knew you were going to be a drug dealer. That's what you came here for. And we need to get rid of these people, because trust me, I'm telling you again, if there was a war today in South Africa, they wouldn't fight for South Africa. They'd run back home. And you are busy defending those people. You have no other country. This is the only one we have. Carry on defending people who tomorrow can wake up and go back to their country and things start going wrong. Because trust me, that's what they want. They would love for South Africa to go down. Because if South Africa goes down, then it gives them a moment of glory to say, yeah, we told. They won't say, oh, thank you, South Africa, you've been good to us. You've given us a home, and now we're going to stand alongside you and fight. Trust me, that's not going to happen. Should ish hit the fan, those people will be gone. And we'll be the only ones left to fight for this country. So we must stand by this country, because this country is all we have. Stand by South Africa. Whether it's a political party, and no political party, no person should be bigger than this country. You can't tell me it's a stand that your political party has taken. The political party is not bigger than South Africa. South Africa must be above it all.
Nothing. Sure, I would say honestly.